Okay, today we're going to do Unit 4, Notes number 2, which is finding slope from a graph and 2 points. So 2 additional ways so yesterday we found slope from a table. Today we're going to find it from 2 points on a graph, or from 2 points in general, and we're going to find it from a graph, which is rise over run. So if we're given 2 points, we have an x and a y, and then an x and a y. We're going to label these x1 and y1, and then x2 and y2. And why we do that is because we have a formula of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that is going to give us our slope. Another way you could do this is you could take your 2 sets of points and you could put them in a table. As long as you put the same, so this ordered pair can go first and then this ordered pair can go second. And you can find the difference. So there's either way you can do it. You can find it from the equation, or you can put the points into a table. From a graph, how we find it from a graph is rise over run. What that means, our rise is how much do we go up or down, and our run is how much do we go left or right or left. So we have to keep that in mind, and this is going to be in between 2 points. Okay, so let's find the slope on this first one. This is our table, so we should know how to do this from yesterday. So from -1 to 1, I go up 2. And then from -1 to 0, I go up 1. So I'm going to have 2 over 1, which equals 2. So that's my slope for my first one. And then the second one, I have x1 and y1, and x2 and y2. So I'm going to use our table on this first one. So I'm going to have 6 and -1 and 5 and 2. The table we are familiar with, so that's why I want to kind of do it. You can always use the equation. From -1 to 2, you're going up by 3. From 6 to 5, you're going down 1. So you're going to have 3 over -1, which equals -3. So that would be my slope. And then on the next one, this is our graph. So on our graph, we have to find 2 points. So these 2 points are already highlighted. So I have to figure out how many did I rise? 1, 2. And how many did I run? So I went up 2 points, and then I ran 1, 2, 3. So you're going to kind of create a triangle and figure out how many did you rise and then how many did you run. So it's going to be rise over run. We rose 2 and we ran 3. Now, if you can see, this line is going down as I go from left to right, so that means it's a negative slope. So my slope is going to be -2/3. Now, which one is the steepest? The steepest is going to be your largest number. It doesn't matter whether it's negative or positive. You can take away the negative. The biggest number. So the biggest number would be our 3. So the second function. Okay, so going down to number 2, it says find the slope between the following 2 points. So I'm going to do one with the table, and I'm going to do one with the equation. So if I create a table, you have to make sure you put the first set and then the second set. You can't mix your sets. So I'm going to have -1, 7, and 2, 8. 7 to 8, I'm going up 1. -1 to 2, I'm going up 3. So I do my y over my, I'm going to do 1 over 3. And that is my slope. It's always your y over your x, because your y value is your rise. Now this one, I'm going to label. I have x1, y1, x2, y2. So if I use my equation, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, I'm going to do my y2, which is 4, minus my 1, which is negative 2, over my x2, which is 1, minus my x1, which is negative 2. So this goes back to, if you have two negatives, that becomes a positive. So I'm going to have 6 over 3, which equals 2. Now, the reason the equation gets kind of tricky is because on this one, we had two negatives together, so we have to remember to change into a positive. Now, if you were just to put those points into a table, just want to show you guys. You go up 6, up 3. So you would still have 6 over 3, which equals 2. So it doesn't matter which way you do it, whether you use the table or the solution, but both will work. Okay, next page. So we're going to do the same thing on this problem as we did on the first problem on the first page. It's we have to find the slope of the three different ones. So our table, from negative 3 to 1, we go up by 4. And then negative 2, or negative 4 to negative 2, we go up by 2. So you have to remember you always go from the top number to the next number. You never go backwards. So we have 4 over 2, which equals 2. The next one, I'm going to put them in a table again. So I have negative 3 and 3, and 0 and 1. So from 3 to negative to 1, I go down 2. Negative 3 to 0, I go up 3. So I'm going to have negative 2 over 3. Then our last one, this one doesn't have our 2 points, so we're going to have to find them. So it intersects right there, and it intersects right here. So I'm going to draw my triangle. I went up 1. Now I go over 1, 2. So I'm going to have 1 over 2, and because it's going down, it's going to be a negative slope. It's going to have negative 1/2. Now, which one is the steepest? It's going to be the one with the biggest number, and that would be the first one because 2 is the biggest. Okay, let's go down to the bottom. It says find the slope of the following line. So on these lines, we're going to have to find 2 points, and we're going to have to find the rise over the run. So on the first one, we have our first point, which is right here. Then go up on the line, and it looks like our next point is going to be right about here. And if you ever need help finding the points, please ask. I'm happy to help you find the points. Draw my triangle. I go up 1, 2. Then I run 1, 2, 3. This line is going up, so it's a positive slope. So my rise is 2, and my run is 3, so 2/3. The next one, this is my first point. This is my second point. And you guys, you can have points wherever. I like to pick my y-intercept. It normally is a lot. It just seems easier. So draw my triangle. I rise 1, and I run 1, 2. So it's how many boxes do you go over? This one's going down, so it's going to be negative 1/2 because it's my rise over my run. Okay, last one. Y-intercept. Here's my next point. So I could also pick this point. It does not matter what point you guys pick. It just has to be between any 2 points because it's going to be the same. I rise 2. I run 1. This is going down, so it's negative. It's going to be negative 2 over 1, which is the same as negative 2. So that is how I find my slope on my lines. Now next, it says for the x and y-intercept. So let's go back to all of our graphs. Our y-intercept, our x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. So if you remember, this is my x-axis. So this one crosses right here. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's our x, so we write our x value, so 6, 0. And then our y-intercept, we already found. We went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 4. And if you remember, in your ordered pair, the y is second, and so the first value is going to be 0. So that is my x and y-intercept. Next one, let's find our x-intercept. The x-intercept is actually crossing right about here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. So if you remember, it's our x. So in our ordered pair, our x goes first. It's going to be 8. And then our y, we don't know, so it's 0. And then we go up 1, 2, 3, 4 to get to our y-intercept. So 0, 4 would be our y-intercept. Okay, last one. Okay, x-intercept we actually already found. It's right here. It's just 1 over, so it's going to be -1. Oh, you guys, I messed up on the first one. -1, comma 0. Let's go back to the first one. Our x-intercept, this is -6, you guys. That's my bad. Hopefully you caught that or questioned me. The last one, our y-intercept, so we go down 2, so our y-intercept is -2. So we're going to have 0, comma -2. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions on finding the slope. Tomorrow we're going to have a review day to kind of go over finding the different types of slope. You guys can get started on your homework.